It was an animal attack, spin-off episode selected.
Well, I hadn't been planning it this whole time, but it came up incidentally because of a YouTube series that I've been watching. This TikToker turned YouTuber named Nikhil Clayton.
Oh, I know Nikhil
Clayton. Fan, among other things.
Yes, I'm very familiar.
Yeah, he's been doing a watch through of X-Men Evolution, which was a show he loved as a child but has not rewatched since. So he's largely forgotten everything. So he like records himself doing like real in-time reactions to this. It's very fun. But one of his biggest gripes, which I'm ashamed to say as someone who's watched X-Men Evolution a few times through, for some reason I never noticed, one of his biggest gripes is that Ororo Munroe, Storm, our weather goddess, is severely underutilized. And this is something that happens to Storm in a lot of X-Men adaptations, because I guess she's just so powerful.
She's too powerful, right?
Writers can't be bothered to write challenges for her.
And it's like...
And I'm like, when you have a black character who is powerful, it's and often when they're not being written by black people, there's this idea that by virtue of making them like strong in the story, like in the text, you're being progressive. You're uplifting black people. They're strong. They have power. Bonnie's the only witch. She's able to fix everything. She's always coming back from the dead. That's something to be proud of, black people. But then when you constantly mistreat the character, don't let them really have their own storylines, throw them by the wayside whenever they're not serving their white counterparts, it's like, do we care that they're powerful?
Yeah.
Storm, because in X-Men Evolution, Jean never goes like full Phoenix. So Storm is easily the most powerful person in the cast. And I kid you not, much like Bonnie, she is gone from most episodes.
Wow.
And the thing with Storm is, it's ironic as hell. When X-Men Evolution was being created, they were like, this is an AU where the X-Men are mostly teenagers and in high school. An actual high school. The Institute is kind of like their home and aftercare.
And Storm is still the teacher or something, I'm sure.
And then they were like, we've put together, in season 1, the X-Men are Wolverine, Storm, Jean, Cyclops, our core 4,
Right.
Rogue, Nightcrawler, Shadowcat. And then they were like, we need to diversify this cast. I guess we don't care about Jubilee like the 90s series did. They were like, we need to diversify this cast. We want another black person. But the only black X-Men who was like, you know, at that level of fame at the time was Bishop. And they were like, we can't really incorporate a time traveler into this kind of a story. So they created completely original character, Spike.
Oh yeah,
Storm's
that
nephew,
bone guy.
Evan Daniels, who they say, hey, we didn't even realize that we were making him a lot like Marrow. His powers do kind of shift
It's
at a certain
very
point,
similar,
but he
yeah.
certainly starts off very Marrow-like. They create a sister for Storm named Vivian.
Oh.
I don't know. She's just like living in America with her husband, Mr. Daniels, who is Evan's dad. And it's like, cool, we give Storm a family. We see Vivian and her husband only in the episode in which Spike is introduced.
Okay.
And I guess because now Spike, I don't even know why the black characters needed to be related, but I guess that was the prestige. He has to be related to Storm
For him to be
enough
important,
to be here.
yeah.
But I guess a consequence, the price that had to be paid, I guess, was that because Spike is now a character and is Storm's nephew, Storm must needs be an adult.
Who
she
said
is
that?
his mother's younger sister, but she's a grown-ass woman.
Who
I don't know
said
why she
that?
could. I'm like, listen, life is weird. There's people with aunts and uncles who are not that much older than them. It's not common, but it does happen.
I have nieces and nephews who are older than me. What are we talking about?
Or you could have just made them cousins.
Right.
That would have been fine
That's
because
the
canonically
real
Storm has
solution.
no siblings.
I
Storm has
just-
an African-American father. You could have just said this is her father's relative's descendant.
Oh, hey, as you said, crazy option that two black people don't need to be related. You know, he could just independently be a black person who's also here. I know that's hard to fathom in the early 2000s.
So Storm is the only X-Men who is an adult apart from Wolverine, who I guess it would have been weird to de-age him given his
It would be
thing.
weird for him to be a child. He's 1,000.
Everyone who doesn't appreciate the whole Jean, Scott, Logan love triangle is like, yay, in this one it isn't a thing because Jean is a teenager and they had no interest in trying to push that.
Right.
But yeah, Logan and Storm are basically, apart from Xavier himself, the two adults on the team. And even then, Logan is often very present, often being an instructor. Storm is often just away.
Yeah.
She's off doing stuff for Charles off screen. We can't imagine what. There are several episodes where she's not there. In the season 2 finale, that infamous scene where she gets attacked by Mystique, where everyone's like, Mystique, what did you think you were going to do to a weather witch? In that infamous scene, Storm is coming back. She's missed what's been going on for the past episode because she's coming back. We don't know from where.
Oh, wow.
There's no explanation given for where she was or why she was gone, but she comes home and she's like, oh, where is everyone? And then Mystique attacks her.
Yeah.
And as the series progresses, because it's 4 seasons long, it's 3 like regular sized seasons and then a really like short fourth one. Storm has one episode where she is the focus, which is dealing with some random African mages stealing her power. Even in that episode, she's kind of just like disabled when she's been depowered. She's like in this catatonic state and everyone else has to save her.
Good.
So it's still not really about her.
That's so weird because a great thing about Storm in the comics is even when she's depowered, she's still the biggest threat in the room because she's a physical combatant. She has those knives that she's really good with because she was a thief in Egypt as a child. And she is a danger to you even when you have powers. That's so weird.
They depower her by, I guess, triggering this episode with her claustrophobia. So she's like in this catatonic state because so that's why she's just there. But like I was surprised. I had misremembered the episode. I was like, she doesn't really do much. It's more about the X-Men having to defeat this man and get Storm her spirit back and her powers back. Like her literal spirit was sucked out of her.
Okay, wow.
Then in the later seasons, there's a whole arc where we meet the Morlocks. And
fun.
Nikhil was like, surely this will be Storm-centric.
Because it's her
Storm
story.
is the X-Men who tangles with the Morlocks most often.
She engages
no,
with...
she's not there.
Oh my god. So you're telling me they introduce... Oh, what's her name? With the eye patch. She's
Callisto.
so iconic. They introduce Callisto and Storm's not there? That is
She's
her
not
wife.
there.
No, that is her booty call. Yukio is her wife. That's so crazy.
Spike has a whole arc where his powers get affected by external substances and he experiences a physical mutation and decides he's going to live with the Morlocks because he no longer blends in.
Sure.
It's an interesting little arc. He is gone from the show for quite a while until he shows up being like the Morlocks defender. Storm is very upset when he leaves. She's like, no, my nephew. Once he resurfaces, Charles is like, okay, Logan, go see what Spike is up to. And Nikhil was like, wait, why is Storm not going? It's her nephew. It's the Morlocks. And she shows up at the very end of that episode to be like, Evan, please don't leave. You don't have to go. You can just come home with me because that's her nephew and she loves him. And he's like, no, Auntie O, the X-Men have all of you guys. Like, the Morlocks need me. And then she's like, okay, but just know that I'm very, very proud of you, my nephew. And that's it.
Okay.
All
right.
And I wish I could say, okay, so we traded Spike for Storm. We added him to the roster and he took all her shine. No, Spike often also has nothing to do.
Yeah.
He's kind of just tied to like Beast's introductory episode and then he's effectively written out with this Morlock arc. And then Iceman kind of takes his place because by then we've gotten a bunch of background POCs. So it feels diverse even if it isn't really. Because we've got Sunspot, we've got Magma, who is thankfully like
Who's
a brown
brown
Brazilian
in
in this
this one.
universe.
Well,
Wish that was 616's thing.
I mean, she's not, you know, the character Magma is not, like, the egregious aspect of Magma is that she
She's
wore
of
brown.
Roman descent.
Right, she wore brown face. That's the issue, right? But she is a white character. It's not like she's stealing valor, you know? That's all I'm saying. Like, it is cool that she's a black Brazilian in the show. I don't want to, like, flame comics Magma for that. No pun intended.
But yeah, I just thought it was very similar to the Bonnie situation where it's like, this powerful black figure, even one who is black in the text, is often just thrown by the wayside. In the movies, she doesn't do a lot, even with Halle Berry's, like,
right,
you know, star power there backing it up.
Well, she had to fight for more screen time, right?
She
and
did.
Even in that, like, there are people who denigrate Halle Berry and think she's this diva who wanted to, like, be the center stage. And it's like, well, no, Storm's this really pivotal character, and they were giving her nothing in the movies. I think it's really cool that Halle Berry demanded to be involved more.
But even as much as she's involved, like, by the third one, she's certainly, like, she's taking over from Charles. But it's like, we still devote so much time to Wolverine and Jean that there's not enough time for her. I remember hearing the X-Men animated series that came out after X-Men Evolution was Wolverine and the X-Men.
Yes.
Again, Storm is underutilized there. She's often knocked out in fight scenes. And when fans complained, the writers confessed, we kind of had to remove her because if she's awake in the fight, she's too strong and would defeat all the obstacles.
That's the usual complaint, right? I mean, even with X-Men 97, which I still haven't watched and I'm really meaning to, I'm going to get around to it. I know Storm leaves for some time and comes back at a pivotal moment. Mm-hmm. That's what they always, it's the easy route to avoiding having to deal with a powerful character. And I think, I don't want to blanket say that that's a sign of lazy writing, but it really feels like you could do something more interesting with that. But also begs the question, why make them that powerful then if you're gonna struggle with that? Just make them like averagely powerful so they can contend with other figures.
Yes.
It's the same shit we were saying about Bonnie, about like they're always depowering her because she's too powerful. It's like, you did that. that. No one made you, make her 100% power.
And then sometimes you'll pretend like she's not even that strong, and she'll tell Liv Parker, "You're more powerful than I ever was."
It's like,
so
okay.
And what's funny is in the comics, Storm has also been depowered at least once.
Yeah, certainly.
I mean, X-Men Evolution, if they just made Storm a teenager, it could have been like, yeah, she's a weather goddess, but she's inexperienced.
She's just getting her powers.
Overpowered.
Right.
She's learning.
Too bad you wanted to adultify the black woman. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you couldn't conceive of her being a young person with these peers. And it's a thing that happens a lot to Storm in the comics, where people think Storm is older than she is.
Yes.
Because that's how they perceive a black woman who talks a certain way.
And I think it's often for millennials, because a lot of us, this was our first X-Men show. We didn't watch the 90s X-Men. We came in with X-Men Evolution, and then Storm was an adult and Jean was a teenager. It was like, oh, okay. Meanwhile, I think
Storm is younger than
Jean
them,
is a year older than Storm.
Yes.
Yes.
She's of the new generation. She's all new, all different. I think she's one of the older ones of the new generation, but it's like, it's what, 6 years?
No, she's actually, I think she's one of the younger ones. The two older ones are Sunspot and Banshee.
No, you're right. Yes, Storm's like 20.
And of course, Wolverine.
Like, the youngest is Colossus, who's 19 on page. He's like a teenager still. And Storm is barely older than him. And it's like, at this point, the original generation has graduated and has moved on. And it's like, God, I don't see how you would think they're not at the very least on the same level in terms of age. How do you conceive of Storm being so significantly older than everyone? The answer is racism. That's the only answer.
The adultification of black girl. It's giving Little Mermaid. It's giving, I will give you legs after I cut your tongue out, but every time you step on land, it'll feel like glass and knives are being shoved through the soles of your feet. Also, you won't be able to talk.
But like, this is giving the Little Mermaid that exists in people's mind and memory when they critique the Little Mermaid, and not what the Little Mermaid was actually about, right? Because Prince Eric, yes, handsome prince, incidental, symbolic in some respects. Ariel was fascinated with the human world before she met that man.
Yeah, the Disney version. I was talking about the Hans Christian Andersen version, which is apparently a very queer-coded.
I was going to say, if we're talking about Hans Christian Andersen, then it's gay.
Yeah.
That was a different metaphor altogether.
Yeah.
I want to be where the people are. I know what you're talking about.
But yes, absolutely the Disney version. Ariel's thing, I mean, she sees Eric do like one honorable thing at his party before his boat goes down. But obviously her thing is like, I'm fascinated with the human world. And then a good-looking human showed up.
Yeah, it's like he is a symbol of that
she's
desire.
Essentially
He's an inciting
fetishizing
incident. Yes. She's like, wow, this is how they all must be. I have to go there.
Her dating profile says, sorry, humans only. It's just my preference. She's like,
no fish, no femmes.
Yes. She's like, no gills, no fins. Sorry, this is my preference. And it's like, but you're a mermaid. It's like, yeah, I am, but I'm just not attracted to other mermaids.
Yeah,
it's nothing personal.
It's no personal, no offense. I just vibe better with, I find that other fish, are not accepting of a certain lifestyle. I've had bad experiences, but with humans, I just always felt really well treated.
You know what? That actually works so well, because what does she do to go with the humans? Silences herself, changes her body,
reduces herself so she can be part of their world. Okay, Miss Ma'am.
Oh my gosh, is there a video essay to be done on this?
I'm sure someone's already done it. I don't think we're breaking new ground here.
No, just the thing of like those people who are like, I won't date within whatever, my own group, whatever that might be, whether it's like ableism or like internalized racism or like femphobia or stuff like that, where it's like, no, I don't like fill in the blank, even though you're part of that group.
You are fill in the blank.
Which is always more sinister than someone who's just racist to a group they're not a part of. I'm like, racism sucks and that's stupid. But when you're racist against your own kind and you're like, no, I would never date what I am, but I expect someone outside the group to want me, and it's like, okay.
All right, good luck.
She's like, yeah, my mom is a vampire.
I love that Disney show. That's the one they played on Disney, not Disney XD.
My mom is a vampire. You know what? Vampire. It's actually a combo of a Disney show.
My Babysitter's a vampire, and also, Mom's dating a vampire.
Yes, Mom's gonna date with a vampire. Disney movie. I wasn't sure whether you knew the movie.
Oh, come on. That would be the Disney Channel original movie I know. Not Twitches, not High School Musical. It's Mom's got a date with the vampire.
I've actually never watched that one. It never seemed to play. or at least on our side in South Africa.
It's fine. It's got that like late 90s, early 2000s charm. And it's got icon. I'm forgetting the actress's name, but Zelda or Hilda, I forget which one, from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Rhea something. Not Rhea Perlman.
Is she the one who was Inga, Mr. Mosby's rival in Sweet Life, who ran the other hotel?
I don't remember Sweet Life
Hilda.
as much as I remember Sweet Life on Deck.
Oh, okay.
So,
well,
I can't help with that.
The sequel series that began the same year as the parent show ended, we were all like, wait, what? That can't be right.
How does that?
Wasn't there like a 3-year gap? But it's like, nope, Google it.
They rolled right into it. And it's like, yeah, then you find out it's because they don't want, if they have to keep a show going longer than I think it's 3 seasons, then you need to up the pay for all your actors. So they avoid it by rebranding the show and doing something different with it and keeping the pay the same.
So, I mean, congrats to Raven Simone, because she was the only one who they felt that was worth doing it for.
Yeah.
Even Miley Cyrus, in all her Hannah Montana marketable glory, was like, no, season 4 is Hannah Montana forever. Different show.
Interesting. Wild. Jessie turned into Bunked or something. And then even Bunked turned into Bunked New Generation or whatever. I don't know.
I guess that's because Debbie Ryan left. She's not in Bunked. Neither is Cameron. I guess Cameron was like, I'm going into more serious things.
Like Descendants, the movie. R.I.P.
If he'd had time, I know he would have done more.
I'm sure. I know he was in some gay movie. I just can't remember what it's called.
Oh, slay.
Yeah. Could have done great things.
She's the superhero, and Jeremy is the damsel who's always getting saved. He's
you!
the Iris, the Lois, the Mary Jane. He's like, hey, I want to save you for once.
He's Iris West, and I love him for it.
We are the Flash.
We are the Flash.
Shame. Jeremy and Bonnie limped so that Barry and Iris could run.
CW, I swear to God.
Iris West, another redhead in the source material, who's a black woman in the CW
And
adaptation.
you know we had to hear about that shit nonstop.
I was like any of you have ever cared about Iris West, the one Flash's love interest? I was like, come on. She's not as iconic as Lois. I know if you're like a deep comic fan, you're probably quite familiar with her, but I was like...
Right, I was going to say one of so many DC newswomen. Like, that's such a vastly occupied space.
So many of
DC.
them. There's so many. We got Lois Lane and Lana Lang and Cat Grant from Superman's side. Chloe Sullivan, if you're counting the Smallville universe. Then we've got Linda Park, who dates the Wally West version of the Flash, and Ira West, who's with Barry Allen. I was like, this reporter girlfriend thing even spills over into one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle adaptations from like the 80s or 90s, where April O'Neil is a reporter. April O'Neil, who by the way was a black biracial in the very first first TMNT comic, and then was changed into a white character for the cartoons.
Yeah.
And now people think she's always been this ginger. So when she was recently made black in an adaptation, they were like, gingercide. And
I
was like,
no, actually. Reconstitution of blackness. Thank you very much.
Ha, Bonnie, my kin, my psychic brethren, the Jean Grey to my bald Charles Xavier. Let us come and speak.
Did I tell you there was during the Krakoa era there was a book called Bishop War College, which was about Bishop of the X-Men training up some of the younger Krakoan mutants. It was a mini-series, 5 issues, and at the end of the first issue, I forget how, well, I guess because of his powers? No, his powers don't do that. How does it happen? He gets time slid accidentally and sent into a alternate reality in which the X gene only manifests in black people.
Oh, yes,
and so
you
on
told
that
me this.
Earth, all mutants are black. And so he ends up in a Krakoa where the entire Krakoan council is black. And so Charles Xavier is a bald black man. It's really cool. What's her name? Emma Frost has like long white braids. It's like, no, not braids, locks. She has locks. It's a really sick panel. And what's his name? Sebastian Shaw, who at the time was on the council, turns it because they are shown an image of Bishop's reality by one of the telepaths that's like broadcasted for everybody on the council, and they're all horrified by the thought. And Sebastian Shaw turns to Emma and goes, "Girl, you were white." It's the funniest shit I had read that year. It was so good.
I love that the XG manifesting in black people made all those characters black rather than just having other characters who are just black.
No, it was like these exact same people existed and they all became mutants and they all found each other. It's just that they're black. I thought they'd do the funny thing where like they make Storm a white woman, which would have been wildly irresponsible, but in the back of my head I was like, maybe they'll do it. They didn't, thank goodness.
Storm with her straight white hair. What would White Storm be? A white person with a perm? A white person with dreads?
White person with 4C hair. They exist sometimes. Maybe she'd be Jewish.
Stefan is like, no, Bonnie, I've been watching this amazing TV show called Once Upon a Time, and every 2 episodes they say something about hope, so you mustn't give up hope, Bonnie, please.
Oh my God. You must have hope in your heart.
They say hope so often in that show that at one point Regina says to Snow, she's like, okay, admit it. You get like a donation from the Hope Foundation every time you say that.
When Regina starts being catty about the fairy tale bullshit, it becomes, the show just becomes so much better. It is the self-referential stuff. But no, like mechanically in that show at a certain season, hope becomes a literal currency. So, you know, they do something with it. Yeah, it's like the heart of the truest believer. It became like a whole thing in the Peter Pan season.
Oh, yes. With all the pixie dust and all that. Yes, that makes sense. That's actually the season I started watching. A wild place to start that show. It was, we'll talk about it later. It was insane. But anyway. Damon thought he was coming back. In the words of Tyra Banks, you almost were.
Oh.
You don't know that one?
No, that was new.
It's the second half of that scene where Tyra is like speaking to the 2 girls and only one of them is going to stay. And she's like, oh, girl A, you've shown me this week that you are a fighter and you're a survivor. And it's so impressive, everything you've done. You will survive this. Gives the card to girl B. Girl A is going home. And she's like, oh, damn. The second half is girl B going, oh my gosh, I thought I was going home. And Tyra being like, you almost were.
Tyra! God, what a menace!
Tyra.
Oh my goodness. Honestly, reality TV from that era, reality TV in general is quite unhinged, but the early 2000s were really something else. Wow.
Quite a time.
I love when, I especially like it in books, when someone's final words or final thoughts are cut off with an M dash because they died or they disappeared or whatever. That's all. It never fails to hit. Even when it's Damon goddamn Salvatore, I'm like, hell yeah. That's how it should be.
In the Song of Ice and Fire books, there's a character who stupidly, because of the whole Targaryen thing, and oh, the dragon's blood, and if you have the Targaryen blood, you can bomb the dragons. There's a character who is distantly descended from Targaryens, who in Daenerys' absence goes into the pits where her dragons have been locked, and is like, I'm gonna find one of her unbonded dragons and try to bond with it, hoping that my 1/16th Targaryen is enough, and it doesn't work. And the dragon roasts him alive. And his final thoughts before he dies are just, oh.
That's so real. Because there's no profundity to final moments, right? Not in real life. And I kind of love when that's reflected in fiction, where it's like, there's no moment to like reflect on everything you've done. There's no moment to really think about all the loved ones you're leaving behind and like the melancholy and the heartbreak and the resignation. It's you're there and then you're gone in the midst of a thought. And I like the groundedness of that. I don't know.
Again, Bonkai was like, look, he brought her a present. I'm now thinking of that insane thing we saw on Twitter recently where it's like she has period cramps, so he blows up the bath factory.
Those have been really funny.
She fails the test because of period cramps, so he blows up the bath factory.
It's just like, what? What are you
I was so confused. I was like, how does that help her? I'm confused.
It's symbolic, you know? Have you heard about the one about the crow boy who destroys plastics in the fantasy world? That one's bizarre to me.
I have not heard about that.
Look it up.
I need to get on Tumblr. There's a special brand of insanity on that app, and it sounds very entertaining.
I need to steer as clear as I possibly can of them because I don't think I have the mental stability for it. I really don't.
Spin-off episode ends. Email us at animalattackpod@gmail.com. Tweet us at animattackpod. That's at ANIM attackpod. Cheers.